All right, everybody. It's been a little while since we did a video. Life gets in the way. That is what it is. We got the Porsche here. Transmission leak's really bad, so that has to get done before we can really drive this around too much more. The old Beamer out there. Sorry, the lighting, but our E30 out there. My son's driving that thing around, working just fine. So that's a good news story. We got to fix a blinker on it, but no big deal. So here we are. You can see the truck's outside. Just pushed it outside. A beautiful day today. So I thought I'd push it out there. Give me a chance to clean up some of this. That is predominantly just an oil leak out of the oil pan drain bolt because we didn't put a crush washer on it because we were stupid. Anyway, not the biggest deal in the world because I'm going to change the oil again anyway since the engine had been sitting for a long time. We put that flush in it, did the oil. We've been running it some. We had a little bit of valve knock, probably from the hydraulic lifters. That went away. So I don't know what was going on in that motor, how long the oil had really been in there and all that stuff. So probably not a bad idea to change it again. So we're going to do that. Actually put a crush washer on it like we're supposed to, but that's what that came from. So no big deal. Had this under the rear diff in case it dripped. You can see there's one drip right there. Again, not a big deal. So let me change the zoom there for you a little bit. You might wonder, what are we going to do? So here's the deal. We got to get this truck running so my son can get his kayak out to the boat ramp. So there's two that are pretty close to us that he can put in and do some fishing because he's got himself a fishing kayak. So that way he can use this truck to move it, because I got to use mine every day and get back and forth to work. So we're going to get in here and get going on this one. A couple tasks that we got to work on. This video, what we're going to do is this little sucker right here. When I was checking the timing and stuff on it, and I adjusted the timing, I didn't really show that in a video or anything, but what was happening was when you gave it some revs, the timing was going all over the place. It wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So I think based off of those results and the physical condition of that diaphragm right there, because that's your vacuum advance, not working, I don't think. So we ordered ourselves a new one, and that's what we're going to tackle today. Now, a couple other tasks we got to do. We got to put a tag on it. I got that, but we got to put it on. No big deal there. The reason I'm holding that right there is because the last time I had the truck running, it got really hot really fast. Something was weird with that, so we're gonna have to look at the thermostat. I don't know if maybe there's an air bubble in there or the thermostat just sat for a while, because it was working beautifully. And if you watched our series here, we replaced pretty much everything in the cooling system. So all I can think is maybe an air bubble or the thermostat got stuck. One of the two. We're gonna deal with that. That's part of why I got it outside. So if some coolant ends up on the ground, it's outside, not inside in my garage. The other issues we got to work through, I'm just giving you a quick down and dirty, is those locks don't match the key that we did for the new ignition. I've got those. We just got to swap those out. So then you'll have some nice chrome lock holes there, which instead of when they painted them. Then, like I said, we got to come back here. We got to stick a license plate on that bad boy. And then the final thing we got to do is I'll come back in here, and this thing, which I have set in here, you see it's not all screwed back in, and that's from when we did the wiring. So I just got to button that up a little bit. There was a couple weird things with the wiring, but we'll work to figure that part out. And then we got to bolt the seat back down, and this thing should be ready to go at least a couple miles down to the boat ramp, so he can use the bed, which is currently full of some junk right now, to put his kayak in and get back and forth where he needs to go. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start working on that. I got a 4-day weekend. We're going to try to get this sucker ready for the road. So that's the goal. By Monday evening, is to have this thing tagged and running and ready to go. So here we go, we're gonna dive into this diaphragm situation. All right, step one, what I'm gonna do just to try to keep it idiot proof is I stuck, you can see there, some blue tape on there, just to make sure I don't somehow or another manage to twist this thing around the wrong way and put it on backwards. So that just marks where the distributor is lined up. It's not too hard to keep it straight, just because all you do to get it off is you got these little clips right here. So you just pop this clip off, and then there's one on the back side, which I'll spare you me trying to do that one-handed. But once you do that, then we should be able to lift the distributor up and out of the way. The step after that is, as you can see, there's a couple of there you go, flathead screw right there. So let me try to be my own cameraman, and hopefully that comes loose. Nope. So I'm gonna probably put a little bit of WD-40 on there, because I don't want to screw that up. Get myself going at it from this side of that wire, so I can stay perfectly flat. It's really hard to tell if it's moving or if I'm stripping it, but I think it's moving. Yep, it's moving. So it's hard to give you a good shot of that, but I'll try. There you go. So that's that. So you got that one. And there's one more right there. But the distributor cap's kind of in the way of that one, so I'm gonna get the distributor cap out of the way so I can again get really flat with my screwdriver and make sure I don't strip that one out. But success so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the distributor cap off, and then we'll go show you what's going on inside of there. All right, next step. So as you can see, this is that other clip that's sitting in the back right there. Just clips on the same way as the front side. All we did was flip this thing up here like this, so that way, beautiful, out of the way. We can do what we need to do. You can see the blue there, that's the new rotor that we put in. While we're in here, what we did not do was the points, which we should have probably, but we were just moving along a little too fast probably and not really paying attention. And then this whatever capacitor or whatever, that one, we haven't replaced either one of those. Since we did the kind of the tune-up video way back at the beginning of this thing, I went through some of the parts and stuff that we found inside the truck, and sure enough, the points, which is that thing, and then the capacitor thing, I might be saying that the wrong word, but whatever, that thing, that little round thing, cylindrical deal there, that was the other part that we had. Now, I don't know how old those were. You can see this diaphragm right here. It's going to connect inside of here. We'll get to working on that, but I ran down to the O'Reilly's and just bought new stuff. So there's all three of those parts. We'll get those out of the box once we get going, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and try to work on getting this diaphragm loose, and we'll just dig into these three parts, and this distributor cap should be, you know, updated, new parts and all that kind of stuff, and then after that we'll check the timing and see how it's going. Okay, back we did some work. Sorry, that's one of my dogs back there making some noises. Anyway, so I got the two screws out of here. I tried to do the WD-40 and you know, loosen it a little bit and then screw it back down in, loosen a little bit, screw it back down in, because they were really tough. So that one worked fine. This one over here, not so much, because if I show you, this is the one that came out of the right side, and this is all I got out of the left side. So, and I can't see through the hole over there, so yeah, we'll see if there's enough sticking up when I finally get this all the way out in order to grab it and maybe try to get it out of there, use something. But worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to go buy myself a like a tap and die set kind of thing, because I'm gonna need to make sure I get that out of there and get a new screw in, because the threads are actually in the distributor cap part, not in this part. That just sits over the top and the bolt falls straight through. So anyway, in order to get that part out, those of you who don't know, this little arm right here comes over and it hooks right there where my finger is. So that's where it hooks. there's a little retaining clip. Now, before I can really get in there, I guess I could, but what I'm gonna do is going to take the points out. So you've got this little ground wire right here that's held in with the screw that goes right there. And then there's another screw back there. You can see that hole lines up and everything. So that screw came out. And then you have a nut on here that I took out. And that's where this wire, this black wire, comes in. And then this black wire comes from over here on this condenser. So anyway, I took that nut off so that we can go ahead and pop these off, hopefully. There you go. And we should be able to lift this thing right out and get that out of your way. So that's your points. Again, I don't know if it's good, bad, whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway, since we're in here and had to move it out of the way to do what we're doing. I just don't know how old it is, and I got a new one over here, so we'll set that over there. And then hopefully I can get in here and show you a little bit better. Let's try to pull that out of the way. So that's where that little retaining clip is, right there. So I'll go ahead and try to get that off without you guys having to watch me. And then once I do that, then this little lever will like pick up and come off of that little knob, and I'll be able to slide this thing out and assess my screw situation and go from there. Alright, so I didn't have to fight that thing too bad. As you can see, and I'll try not to drop it, that is a tiny little sucker, but I got it out without dropping it down into the distributor, because that was my biggest fear. So I was just very, very careful, you know, mess with it with my fingers a little bit, grab my needle nose pliers there to finish it off, but it really wasn't that bad. So despite the screw situation, at least that part didn't go wrong. So anyway, we'll go ahead and work on getting that popped up and pull this thing out. Alright guys, some good news and some bad news. So I got that top part off, but there's the remainder of that screw that broke off. And because of that, I can't slide this off. So you can see this side comes fine, but the other side is not going to come off with that screw sticking through there like that. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get that screw out of there before I can get the diaphragm off. But anyway, you know, there's good, there's bad. This is one of those things that was supposed to be a quick, easy job, and now it's going to turn into hours. So that's that. Anyway, just keep powering through. That's all we can do. But we got that part off up there. That's pretty easy. So as you can see, this is. And then I can also tell you if that diaphragm is any good. Nope, can't really get my hand on there one-handed, but that's where we're stuck. Because you can see down in that hole is the rest of that screw, and that was the other part sticking out. So let me figure out how to get that screw out of there, and then we'll go from there. All right, so there we go. It's off. So this diaphragm is off right here. So what I had to do was basically like pry it downwards and break that off, which you can see luckily it's thick, but it's just like some cast soft metal. So basically that broke off, and now I've got that situation going on. And what I hope I can do is put 2 nuts on that thing, because I have some nuts that fit it, and see if I can use that process to try to get the remnants of this this steel out. So that's what we're going to do next, see if we can get that out before we try to do anything moving forward. So, you know, you try to do stuff and it doesn't always work out the best, but so far we got this one off. I'm not sure the diaphragm was actually bad on it, to be honest with you. I don't think it was. I don't know, it's hard to tell though. I mean, the spring is still there. I just don't know if the diaphragm was still holding air. So but we're gonna replace it. Get some new screws in here too. I'll probably just go buy some screws. I'll take this one and go run up to the O'Reilly's and get me sorry, I had to itch my nose there, but get me some new screws that aren't rusty and old, and hopefully they'll work better than this, because I got to go buy one at least, so I might as well get 2 new ones. Anyway, let me see if I can get that out and show you what my how that works out for me. So, all right, everybody. Next day, truck's back in the garage. I just shoved it back inside. Obviously, I didn't crank it. As you can see, I'm trying not to block it, but that hole is mostly empty now. You can look there, and it's not sticking out the bottom anymore. Here's the deal, though. I tried the 2-nut deal from the bottom. That did not work. It just stripped the those fine little threads right off of there, so couldn't really get any oomph on it. I tried to drill a small hole in the top, tap a Torx bit in there, see if I can make it move that way. As soon as I put any pressure, the Torx bit just started spinning out, so that didn't work. So eventually, as you can see from these shavings right here, I just drilled the SOB out. Now, what I have to do now, I found out that this old screw was that size. It was actually a little bit less than an inch, like some weird, I don't even know, like 7/8, 5/8, something like that, instead of an inch. But anyway, that's what size it was. The extra little bit of length doesn't really matter. But you know what that is, and you know what I'm about to do. So luckily I found this thing. I had to go buy it, and it's a good thing to have anyway. So it was on my get list or shopping list anyway. So this was the time that I needed to do it. Now, you can look right there. I'll turn that for you, but so that 8/32 is the 3rd smallest one. If I reach in, that's this sucker here. I couldn't buy this individually. I could only find it in these sets, but like I said, set's worth it. It was like 40 bucks. Hopefully I don't have to ever use it that much, but anyway, here it is. So I'm gonna take this, because when I drilled that thing out, I didn't drill it out like bigger. I just drilled out what I thought was gonna be able to get the, maybe pick some of the remnants out, and that didn't work. So anyway, I think this will go in, get some threads, get it to hold. I mean, it's not like that's a high pressure type of deal anyway. I just need the screw to go in there and stay. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So let me see if I can tap that thing out and put my new screws in. Worst case scenario, I'll drill it out and I can just put one of those nuts on the bottom and do it that way. But we'll figure it out, we'll get it done. So here we go. Let's tap it out and see what happens. All right, so here we go. Got this done. See, that's sticking out the bottom. So now all I gotta do is back that thing back out of there. As you can see, I had to take the cap, or sorry, the rotor piece off. It just comes out super easy. That way I could get the clearance to swing that bar around, but still I could only do 90 degrees at a time, because basically it starts to hit right here, you know, this part. And I had the shorter little thing that they send you, but it just got a little bit too tough for that, so I had to switch over to this one. But anyway, there you go. So I'm gonna back that out, and then I should be able to run a screw down in there and go ahead and start working on putting that diaphragm back in. Okay, there you go. That's my new screw, and I was just test fitting it, and it works fine. So went all the way through, no issues at all. So I think we successfully retapped that hole, and now we can move on to installing things. Well, actually, let me take that capacitor out. As you can see, that's just that one, if I'm a finger in the camera, that one screw right there takes this condenser out, and it's just that black wire comes over and plugs into the points over here. So I'll go ahead and take that out, and then we will literally have everything out, then we can start rebuilding. All right, so here's all the old parts up here. So there you go. That's all the old ones, and then here's all the new ones. That's your new condenser, I think it's called. There's your points. You can see the part numbers. These came from O'Reilly, so that's what's going on there. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting the new ones back in. All right, progress update here. So we got the new condenser in. This is your, sorry for my hand there, but that's your connection there. So that's gonna come around. This is the wire that comes in to the distributor right here. This is your ground wire. So that's in, screws went down perfectly fine, no issues really there. Don't forget your little retaining clip right there. That is, I'm pretty sure I got it on there right. I mean, it's, you about need a microscope to work on that thing. So yeah, I think I just got to put the points in. So I'm going to connect these two wires, these two black wires, to the condenser, or to the points first, and then I'll screw it down in there because it just works better that way. The nut for those wires is kind of gets down near the ridge of this. So anyway, we'll work on doing that, and I'll show you that, and then we'll put the distributor on it and hopefully get this thing running and check the time. Right, there we go. You can see I got the condenser back in there. I set it up. I mean, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but basically I made sure this little plastic piece right here was touching the little piece that spins there. It is still connected back here because it's not quite on the peak, but I just got it snugged up tight. Put those two screws in. You can see my ground wire here, black wire there, the other black wire from the condenser over there comes around and hooks in here. Tighten that nut down. This, like I said, this is easy. It just sits on and off of here. You can see there's only one way it can go, so that's easy to do. Now I just got to put the cap back on it and push it outside and crank it and check the old timing and move on from there. All right, so we got it out here outside again so we could get it running. I just had it running. I'm a film crew of one right now, so I can't do everything. And I want to focus on doing the stuff that I got to do right. So I got this all set up, batteries in here. You can see my my cheap little Harbor Freight gun. But what it does have on the back is you can see there's a dial there. So you can turn that dial and see where you are. So if you see, that's on 60. Well, when I had it on 60, and I was looking in here, and what you do is you look right there. My finger made it refocus, but you look there, and there is you see that little triangle piece, and then that goes to the crank pulley. So what you're trying to do, there is a white mark on that crank pulley, and so when it gets to where that little point is, then that's where you're at. Now I had adjusted the timing, and that's part of what made me think that something was weird. So anyway, right now it's at like -60, just sitting here idling, so that's not good. So what I'm gonna have to do is undo that bolt right there, get it loose so that I can start adjusting the timing and get it back to 0, or well, 10 is what I want. 10 degrees before is what I want. So we'll adjust that by twisting this in order to get that to happen. So that's what I'm going to do, is loosen that nut right there, which I've already done before. Twist the distributor cap, and I don't know which way it is, but I'll see when I start doing it, and try to get it back to where it's at 10 degrees before top dead center, just sitting here idling, and then we'll go from there as far as what it does on the vacuum. But that's what we're going to work on trying to do next, is checking all the timing, make sure we got everything set where it's supposed to be. Okay, step one of doing this timing, because I was seeing where it was, and it was at -60 degrees. So what we do to set this up is I took the vacuum line off. There it is, put a T in it, so that clogs that. So we have no vacuum at all on the distributor. And so this is where we want to get it at 10 degrees before top dead center, as far as I know, for this motor. So that's where I'm going to put it. So we're going to crank this thing back up, check what we got going on, and I'll let you know how that goes. All Alright everybody, it's a little loud, but there you go. We got it running. Battery was a little bit flat because I haven't run it in a while, and I didn't have it on a charger, so we had to get the old temper box out. Let it sit for a few minutes, charge it up, but she's running right now. So with no vacuum, it was about, I set it to 10 degrees before TDC, and now with the vacuum back on, it's sitting at about 35 degrees before TDC. So I don't know, I think that's about right. If it's not, tell me in the comment section, and I will definitely get back out here and adjust it. But the little girl seems to be running pretty good. Another great thing is, I was having problems before. I think I just had an airlock as to why the radiator wasn't working. Because now, the radiator's hot. And before it wasn't doing that. When I checked the fluid level before I cranked it up this time, it was low, so I put, I don't know, maybe a quart in there. Topped it all off. And now it seems to be holding temperature right smack dab in the middle. I'll show you that too. Get a little bit of the rumble back here. So that seems to be good. I don't have to do anything with that. And then we're going to come in here and look. You can see the temps right in the middle. So all good from what I can tell. It's been idling for a little while now and no big deals. I'll keep an eye on it and see if it gets a little bit up there. I topped it all the way up to the very, very tippity top. So there's a little bit of that's coming out of the overflow. See, that's out of the overflow too. You see it comes down there. So that's not leaking out of anything specific. I think I might have just got it a touch full. So it's adjusting itself a little bit, but the old girl's running, doing good. Job done. I'll button up a few things, put the breather back on. I sprayed a little bit of that in to help it start up, but it cranked up pretty easy, really. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to get this thing on the road this weekend. Maybe take our first trip in it tomorrow and go somewhere, like an actual destination with this thing. So, next thing I got to do is button up some wiring and then do those door locks. That's next on the list. I don't know, wiring might be good too. We'll have to see, because that light is not on right now, which was my other problem. So hopefully the wiring doesn't turn out to be anything, but I'm going to switch over to those door locks next. So that's it. See where we go on our first trip. Subscribe, all that, come back, and we're going to get this little girl on the road and get her going.